Project Management Insights, providing project managers with professional development in the interpersonal skills areas of leadership, team building, and communication. Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about politics on a project team. It's an interesting topic and one that got me thinking about what I noticed when I was a project manager on a number of different projects. So let's talk about those power struggles that sometimes emanate on a project team. You know what it's like when you have one particular stream or a particular stream lead who tends to believe that they have the power to manage and control things by stopping what's going on, by slowing things down, by being an obstruction. And I've had this happen before where that person believed they knew what was best, even though I was the person managing the project. Now, don't get me wrong, these people have a lot of knowledge and understanding, and I was willing to work with them, not to the detriment of my role being undermined. And I think this is what is something very important to consider, that if that person is feeling so threatened by you, then you have an issue on your project. And the way to manage this in the world that I live in right now is to confront it and deal with it head on. This is about having a one-on-one discussion with that particular person or that particular group of people and laying things out on the table as to why they are doing what they're doing. Yes, that might feel really disruptive and really scary, and it's the best thing that you can do to clear the air, because while you're not having a discussion about this seeming power struggle or the politicking that's going on in the team, then disruption is being caused. You're not getting what you need for your project in order to deliver it. They are likely to be disrupting other people and other areas of the project, perhaps without you even realizing it. And it's creating conflict and tension where there doesn't need to be conflict and tension. So sit down with them in a room and lay it on the table and ask that question, what's going on? And get them to explain, and believe they might also decide that they're not going to tell you, they might be cagey, and then it's time for you to speak and say, this is what I'm noticing and it's not working for me. And have the conversation. And it might need more than one conversation. It might need a couple of conversations. Feeling threatened is something that is an interesting concept because it's only that person's story of where they think you sit in relation to them that has them feel threatened. In actuality, is it true? No. They have a role to play on your project, and oftentimes, especially if they're a stream lead, it's a very important role. You couldn't manage to deliver the project successfully without them, without their knowledge, without their experience, without their support in working with and managing the stream and the work commitment of the stream that they're working with. So it's crazy that they feel threatened by you. It's not the reality. The reality is you want them working with you, not against you. So how can you manage to get them to see that that's the case, that you're all really working on the same side for the same outcome? It's about perhaps explaining that you see that they have skills and knowledge that you don't have, that it's important and key in the delivery of your project, and so you want to work with them, not against them. Now, sometimes what might happen is these people won't have a bar of it. And in that instance, it's about coming to an agreement that you agree to disagree. They don't want to come on board. You can't have them disrupting because you won't, You're the management manager of the project. It's your responsibility to deliver it successfully. And so agree to disagree that they will do things in a certain way as long as, and set some boundaries. And that's about them not disrupting team meetings, for instance, that if they have an issue, they're to come and talk to you personally. Set some specific boundaries and some specific requirements in terms of the way that they will interact with you and for the project moving forward. Ultimately, as I've said, the bottom line is it's about project delivery. They're there to do that, and you want them to work with you, not against you. So what do you need to put in place to make that happen? Have a think about what other things you might do. You might know this person very well. You might know their little nuances, or talk to other people. And I don't mean in an open forum, but find out from the people who've worked with these people before what their little nuances are. There might be little things that they find work for them or work with them to get them to do or to deliver. Find out what those things are and utilize that knowledge so that you can have them working for you rather than against you. Power struggles are not a good thing on a project. They ultimately upset the equilibrium and the balance for the project, and therefore they're not positive, they're not good for you in trying to manage the project. So you have to be able to understand how you can go about mitigating, and it is a risk, mitigating what these people are going to do or not do that upsets the balance of your project delivery. Think of it as a risk. What would you put in place as a mitigation strategy? Would you have a backup? Do you need to have a manager understand that this person is causing a problem and you're managing it, and yet you do have support that they understand that if there are struggles and are difficulties, then it is this person that's in that space. I've done that before. It doesn't feel good to do that, and I've done it with a manager that I know that I could trust to not create issues or feel as though I was incapable. They were very aware of how I managed people. They understood that I always did my best to communicate and gain a fair and equitable way of us working hand in hand together. And so as long as I had that understanding from this particular manager, they were there for me to be able to say, I've got a problem, there's a delay due to this person being in their whatever state again, and they were aware of it and could support me and perhaps give me some suggestions, like a mentor in a way, sometimes as to how to deal with that person. So there are lots of ways for you to mitigate the risk of this particular person or this particular team and the politics / power struggles that might be going on in your team. So have a think about it and consider what it is that you need to put in place in order to have the project work as smoothly as possible for you. Ultimately, delivery is the game, and you need them to support you to deliver no matter what happens. Because especially if they play a key role in the delivery space and a key piece of the delivery, it is then very, very important that you do whatever you can to have them on side as much as possible. Good luck with that one. I'd love to hear how you go mitigating the risk or against these particular people. And we might talk about this more in the future because it's a very, very interesting space to be in. Keep on delivering those projects. Until next week. Thank you for listening to this Project Management Insights podcast. Be sure to visit projectmanagementinsight.com and sign up for our monthly newsletter or to receive updates on upcoming training.